Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another Theme Park Obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Today I have an Epic Universe update for you. So we're going to be taking a look at the before and after, the rate of progress on this all new theme park that's supposed to be opening up in the summer of 2025. So let's not waste any time and dive into all the latest photos from Bioreconstruct on X. Let's start off with the hotels. There are 3 in total, and 2 of them are being built on the outside of the theme park, and then 1 of them on the inside of the theme park. And it will add to Universal's current lineup of amazing hotels on property. Now, recently we got some news on the naming of 2 of the hotels. One of them is Stella Nova and the other is Terra Luna, and those will be the 2 hotels located on the outside of Epic Universe. And just like both of those names suggest, they each have space theming on the inside. It's not a lot, at least judging from the concept art that we've seen. It's not too crazy, but you get the idea when you're staying there. It's very similar to what we see at Dockside and Surfside. The theming is subtle. It's not like in your face and just way too over the top. It's just enough to give you the idea of like, oh, okay, this is like a space themed hotel. Here's what both of the hotels look like as of December of 2023 here at the end of the year, and crews have done such a fantastic job to complete these. The same builder who built Dockside and Surfside actually was working on these as well, so that's why we've seen these go from like dirt to vertical construction to topping out in just a few months. Both towers already have their windows installed, and one of the towers is almost done with its colorful paneling. Now, each of these hotels will have the same look on the outside. It's just the interior spaces are going to be slightly different depending on which one you stay at. And speaking of those colorful panels, there are thousands of them, so huge shout out to the crew members that are installing these one by one. I've driven by the project in person and it looks so darn cool in person. On photos and videos, it's hard to like kind of get the full effect, but when you're standing next to the hotel in person, it looks great. And yeah, you can already see that one of the hotel towers has not received its colorful paneling just yet, but that will happen here in the next few weeks because crews are installing that metal piece that connects to the concrete, which then will connect to the what looks to be, it's funny, they look like little Lego pieces. Those will be the colorful paneling. So in the next few weeks, I'm sure we'll start seeing those panels show up on the secondary hotel as well. And then looking at the pool decks, those are shaping up pretty nicely as well. You can see both pools have been shaped out. One of them actually has concrete. The other one, they're still waiting on the pour. But yeah, the pool decks and bar area are moving along pretty quickly. So we'll probably see a finished pool deck here in the next few months. Then moving inside the park, here's your look at the hotel being built on the inside, which will be connected to the park. So if you're staying there, it'll be cool because you'll just walk down to the lobby and then into Epic Universe. You won't have to go around towards the front if you don't want to. If you want that full experience and you want to go through the archway of Epic Universe, by all means, you can probably go around to the front, but this will have a dedicated in-park entrance, which will be fantastic. And here's what this hotel looked like a few months ago. The last time I did a video on the park, yeah, they didn't even top out the hotel, and it seems like now they're just about at the finish line as far as the height is concerned on this hotel. It's looking like this hotel has 10 floors to it, so they're almost done. They still have a little tiny section to complete, but other than that, again, really good progress on the in-park hotel. They've even started putting up some of the detailing on the in-park hotel. Now, we don't really know what the finished product is supposed to look like. We have one piece of concept art that Universal has given us, but it's very vague. So we're slowly starting to see some of the details, and I can't wait for Epic Universe to be shown off in some more concept pieces. I'm sure Universal will release those concept art pieces here in the next few months because we are inching closer to the grand opening in 2025. So I'm hoping that they have some hotel images. That way we can see what the finished product is supposed to look like. But judging from the photos that we've seen from Bioreconstruct, it's looking great so far. Go ahead and comment down below. Out of the 3 hotels, which one would you stay at when Epic Universe opens up? Will it be the in-park hotel or will it be one of the 2 hotels on the outside? I feel like staying in the in-park hotel for the very first time, like when we see Epic Universe for the very first time, would be pretty legit. But I don't know, the outside hotels look pretty cool too. I have some decisions to make here in the next year, so at least I have plenty of time to figure it out. Moving to the front entrance though, here is your latest look at all the happenings at the front gate. And it looks like crews are mainly working on one of the arches that we'll walk through when we first step foot into Epic Universe. It's almost like the first portal because it's shaped just like the other 4 portals that are inside the park. Because remember, each of the lands have these entry portals, and it looks like the one here in the front is very similar to the smaller ones. So this could be like our giant gateway into the universe, into Epic Universe, and then we'll pick our different universes from there when we're in the center of the park. It's a pretty cool concept. I actually really love the fact that we're going to be walking through one portal into this massive universe, and then we'll be picking different worlds from there. It's Universal's own version of like what Disney has done with the wagon wheel kind of idea in the hub. So you got Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, Frontierland, and Adventureland, and you just pick what adventure you'd love to go on next. So I love that concept is still true today after so many years. And I'm glad that, you know, Epic Universe has its own version of that. Here's what the project looked like last year. You can see massive differences in all aspects of it. I mean, the portal wasn't there. They were still working on some concrete on either side. And then, yeah, they didn't even have the security like check thing. At least that's what it looks like in the concept art. And some other little components here and there were not even complete yet or even started. So from then to now, yeah, things are looking fantastic. And if you look closely, they're starting to plant trees already, which is really nice to see. Mark Woodbury has said that Epic Universe will be a park setting. They're going to bring the park back into theme park. And the fact that we're seeing a lot of trees this early being planted tells me that they really want these trees to mature as time goes on. So that way when they open the park, things will be a little bit more lush and fulfilled versus the trees that are, like when they build like a housing track or something, they put the trees there and they're like super tiny because they haven't grown in yet. With Epic Universe, I feel like they don't want any of that. They want it to be a little bit more lush. So the fact that they're planting them now, pretty much a year and a half out, is awesome. Now moving on, here is the latest look at what is shaping up to be a beautiful fountain that will be multi-level, that will spill into a larger pool that is right down by the rumored restaurant. This is rumored to be a nice sit-down location with massive windows that overlook the multiple pools that will lead towards the massive hotel at the end of the park. It's looking like Epic Universe will have some beautiful water features, and I think we're going to be greeted by one of the most impressive ones right when we walk in the park. I'm so happy that this is not going to be a concrete jungle. The fact that we're going to walk through and see this water feature with all the lush landscaping around, I mean, it's going to be gorgeous when it's done. And then looking back in time, this is what everything in the front entrance looked like a year ago. Now, as we move deeper into the hub, you can see not much change has happened to the rumored carousel attraction. I don't think this area of the park is going to see a lot of new work until the start of the new year. I think after the holiday season, we'll slowly start to see some ride components be installed for what this rumored flat ride is supposed to be. And then we'll get a better understanding of how it's all going to work, because this is not supposed to be just a normal carousel. This is something a little different and unique to Epic Universe. And same goes for the surrounding shops and restaurants. There really hasn't been too much change in these areas. They have planted some more trees around, which is, again, nice to see. And a giant oak tree has appeared in front of what looks to be another quick service location, another sit-down restaurant. And then here's your look at the fountain display that's being built near the back of the park closest to the hotel. So we can see in the concept art that they do plan on doing some sort of show there, some water show. Crews have been working pretty quick on what's looking like some stadium seating around the show space. And then as far as the show itself, like the infrastructure, the fountain infrastructure hasn't shown up. I would think that that's going to happen here in the next few months. And then if there is going to be a fountain show, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some daytime testing of that, maybe by summer or fall of 2024. And once all the water features are done, I feel like it's going to look absolutely stunning, because on ground level it's going to look like one giant sheet of water and the pathways are just going to go over it. Obviously from the air you can tell that these are multiple pools, but yeah, when you're on ground level you're not going to tell the difference. And with the fountains and everything and the kineticism, it's going to look great. And before we move on, this is what everything in the hub looked like just a year ago. Alrighty, let's dive into the 4 themed lands, starting off with the confirmed Super Nintendo world. Universal confirmed this not too long ago, and yeah, it's shaping up really, really nice. This will be slightly larger than the one in Japan, and it'll open up with the Donkey Kong expansion. I feel like out of all the lands at Epic Universe, this one might be the most difficult because of the amount of moving pieces in Super Nintendo world. And the fact that this one's gonna be slightly larger than the one in Japan, I wouldn't be surprised if they put in a few extra little moving pieces. It's going to look so darn cool once it's done, just like the one here in Hollywood. I love how everything has some sort of kineticism to it. And here in Orlando, I feel like just because of the scale, it's going to look even better. You can see that the ride vehicles for the Yoshi attraction have shown up, and there's all these other little details that have started to pop up, including a lot of the paint work happening on Mount Beanpole and some other areas of Super Nintendo World. Here in the next few months, they're going to be finishing up a lot of the exterior buildings, and we're going to see a lot more paint. So this land will get very vivid very quickly. I would say probably by March or April, a lot of the facade structures will be complete. Over in Donkey Kong, there's some rock work happening on what's looking like to be the exterior temple scene. In the concept art, we see that the minecart will travel into this like ruined temple set, and crews are working on that rock work right now on the facade. This will probably receive some paint here in the next few weeks. They're going to finish the rock work and then they'll get to paint, and it'll take some time to paint this just because the structure is so big. And then before you know it, they're going to be planting a lot of trees. This area of the park will be extremely lush as well because this is all supposed to look like a jungle. And before we move on, this is what Super Nintendo World and Donkey Kong looked like a year ago. Let's move on to what will probably be my favorite land in Epic Universe, and that is the rumored Classic Monsters land. Starting off with the entry portal. Now, this was revealed a few weeks ago. They finally took the scaffolding down because they finished the paint work and everything, and wow, oh wow, this looks incredible. And I can only imagine how huge the scale is when we see this in person. 1 year ago, this is what it looked like. So fast forward to now, yeah, this is stunning. The little town that they're building right after the entrance portal is looking great as well. A lot of scaffolding has gone up because crews are working on a lot of the details for the exteriors, and I'm sure a lot of work is happening on the interior as well. Now, since this is all supposed to be themed around the classic monsters, I would not be surprised if the exteriors of these facades are going to look very similar to, you know, like a German village, or like what we've seen in Fantasyland at Disneyland, or the Court of Miracles at Universal Studios Hollywood. It's going to look like that. And then this little town leads up into this massive facade for the land's marquee attraction. And yeah, they've taken down the scaffolding from this building, and again, looking fabulous. The detail here is really, really cool. When you look very closely at some of these images, you can see that the masonry work is top tier. Moving to the back of the land, here's your latest look at what is rumored to be another quick service location that is themed around that windmill that catches on fire. Again, nothing has been confirmed. This is all internet speculation, but work is progressing very nicely on this building. And as you can see, they've put up the scaffolding around the main component of the facade, and they're working on the concrete work around that. And then looking back in time, this is what everything looked like at the rumored Universal Monsters land a year ago. Moving on across the way to another very popular land in the park, and that will be the rumored Wizarding World land. This is all supposed to be themed to Wizarding Paris, and we can see that through the scaffolding from the architecture. And like I've said in previous Epic Universe videos, the scale here is incredibly impressive. When you look at the little people walking around the construction site, you kind of have a better understanding of how big these facades are. I mean, we're talking almost 100 feet, I feel like, in this entire space. So that, I mean, that's massive. Now, it doesn't look like too much has happened here in the past few months, and that's just because I feel like a lot of the work is happening on the interior spaces of this, because most of the land's action is happening on the inside. The main marquee attraction here is inside. There's rumored to be a show, and that's on the inside. And a lot of the shops and restaurants are obviously inside as well. So we're not really going to see too much happening on the exteriors, just besides the facade work. It's looking like towards the front of the land, the concrete work will start very, very soon on the footpaths, because it doesn't seem like they're working on too many other things besides the entry portal and then just the archway that will pass through to walk the streets of Paris. So I wouldn't be surprised if the footpath goes in here in the next few weeks. But when you look at it before and after, that's when you can really see how much progress they've made. This is what everything looked like a year ago, the rumored Wizarding World. Now, last but not least, let's take a look at the rumored How to Train Your Dragon land. Now, this land is massive. I feel like it's the biggest out of the 4. And here's what everything is looking like as of late. You can see that in the lagoon, things have wrapped up enough to where they can fill it up, and it looks really, really cool with all the water in it. We're seeing some good progress being made on a lot of the rock work around the land, and one section of the coaster actually actually has seen some completion when it comes to that. Now, this land is rumored to have a very large indoor dining space, and you can see that the building that is supposed to be housing this is finally receiving its rock work, and this rock work is very, very large. Again, the scale here is massive, and I'm assuming this is all supposed to look like a giant mountain when it's done. And then right across from the main dining building, you could see these smaller sets of structures are starting to receive the beginnings of the steel work that will hold up some more rock work on that end as well. I think that's one of my favorite parts about this land, is that it's looking like there's so much rock work going in, and it's going to look great up against the water. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a couple waterfalls in this section, because I feel like all the other lands, I don't know where a waterfall would fit. They could put some sort of waterfall in the rumored monsters land, but I feel like the How to Train Your Dragon land has the best potential for some sort of waterfall somewhere. A lot of progress has been made on another attraction in the rumored How to Train Your Dragon land, and it looks to be a water attraction. You can see that the track has been installed, and if you look closely, you can see that some bits of theming have been installed as well. In addition to the track work, crews are working on the load and unload area and what looks to be the queue space for the attraction. Everything about this rumored How to Train Your Dragon land is shaping up very, very nicely, and I think it's going to look gorgeous once it's done. And before we wrap it up, this is what everything looked like at the rumored How to Train Your Dragon land a year ago. So there you have it. There's your latest look at Epic Universe. There's so much to cover. I didn't cover everything in today's video. I mean, the amount of work is impressive, and there's so many little things to talk about that, I mean, it would take me over an hour to talk about every single little detail. There's just so much happening in Orlando's newest theme park, and I cannot wait for it to open. And I still think some people are sleeping on Epic Universe. Epic Universe is shaping up to be one of the coolest theme parks that we've seen in a very, very long time, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope so many other people are looking forward to it as well. I think it's going to change the space in Orlando for a very, very long time, and I think it's going to give Disney that competition that I feel like they need to get themselves going. I feel like Disney is just kind of sitting complacent because there's really nothing that they need to compete against. But I feel like Epic Universe is that one thing that they need to watch out for. It's a sleeping dragon, it really is. And in addition to what's opening at Epic Universe, there's room for even more. So I'm sure they have ideas for all the expansion for the park as well. And it's not just Epic Universe. Universal has things up their sleeve for all their existing theme parks. You know, you got Volcano Bay that hasn't had a new slide in a long time, and I'm sure they'll do something new there. And then Islands of Adventure has room to expand, and same with Universal Studios Florida. Universal Orlando Resort has so much potential that it's ridiculous, and I feel like Universal is going to be adding so much in addition to Epic Universe here in the next 10 years. Huge shout out to Bioreconstruct on X. Be sure to check them out. Oh my goodness, you hear that screaming? They're excited for Epic Universe as well. But be sure to check out Bioreconstruct on X. They've got some amazing aerial photos of not just Epic Universe, but a bunch of different theme parks in Orlando. Go ahead and comment down below. What are you excited for in Epic Universe? Are you excited for the water features, the hotels, the rides? What aspect of the park are you really looking forward to? But with that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you can let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love theme park content, because I cover a bunch of different parks from all over, consider subscribing because I have brand new videos every single week that you won't want to miss out on. Be sure to check out my Instagram account by following the link down below in the description. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. And I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.